Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Am I the Asshole Podcast. Today is Thursday, and boy, you know what we got on deck for you for Thursday. Woo! We got our book hooked, baby, and I can tell you now, I am hooked. No pun intended. I am hooked on this book, man. It is a very, very, very interesting book, and I'm really liking what this book is doing. All right. It's definitely erring on that side of mystery because we don't really know, honestly, it seems like there's more to Wendy than she's kind of leading on. She kind of seems like she's like this poor girl or whatever, but I think James, like our main guy, he is alluding that her family is a little maybe well off for a little more than, she's actually like leading on, and obviously I think his obsession with her stems from that. And there's just more of a mystery to find out about it. And I really like the dynamic with it, if I'm being honest with you. And I'm excited to see how their story unfolds and how it continues on, you know what I mean? So we'll definitely get into that today. We're going to be doing 4 chapters of the book today. So we'll be doing chapters 7, 8, 9, and 10 today. So definitely look out for that. It's going to be exciting. But without further ado, let's get into today's thread. And today's thread's a pretty interesting one. Today's thread is, what's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't really care? All right. So let's see what girls think are embarrassing, but guys are like, I don't give a fuck about it. Okay. So, trendy supplements and fad diets can't eradicate SIBO. What? Oh my God. Okay. I keep doing that. They have like these stupid ads they throw in there. Okay. Sorry. All right. What's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't really care? I had a friend in high school who would eat in front of her, who wouldn't eat in front of guys because it was embarrassing to show her appetite. She was raised with the idea of eating like a normal human being was somehow not ladylike. As a kid, it confused me. As an adult, I feel bad looking back on it. That's so very odd. Like, okay, I understand that, if she was chewing with her mouth open or something like that, okay, I'd understand that. But I mean, no. If anything, guys kind of find that shit attractive when a girl got an appetite. You know what I mean? When a girl orders some real food, I'll be like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Order some food, baby. You know what I mean? Eat. Like, goddamn. Because if I'm being honest with you, it's never a thing. Like, okay, say you go on a date, right? The girl orders a salad. The guy is not necessarily upset or think it's weird. He's kind of worried about you. Like, are you sure that's all you want? Because like, I don't want you to be hungry. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to, feel like you can't eat. Like that's how like most guys, I would argue, feel about the whole girl ordering a salad thing. Because we want you to be able to eat, enjoy the food, enjoy where we're at. That's, I would think, how we would look at it. It's how I look at it anyway. And the whole appetite thing. Yeah, I like a girl with a little appetite on her. You know what I mean? A girl that could eat some food, But yeah, most definitely. Okay. What's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't really care? I remember a girl I brought home once started bleeding through the night, and she was mortified in the morning, stained on the sheet. I was just like, it's not that serious. It's not like it's a choice you made. Facts. Like, periods happen. You know what I mean? Periods happen. They're normal. You know what I mean? It's all good. Now, is it going to be a bitch to clean that out of my sheets? 100%. Because it is blood at the end of the day. That is going to be a bitch to wash out my sheets, But I can't get mad because it's just a natural thing, And if I'm being honest with you, I'm the type of guy, man. Periods only stop a sentence, girl. You know what I mean? Hey, if you want some wiener while you on the red week, I'm in there. We can lay a towel down. It's all good. I'll lay a towel down and get up in them bloody walls. You know? Yeah. Nah, I don't let that shit stop me. I don't think it's gross or whatever. Like, come on, man. And, you know, dudes will be like, oh, no, I don't want to get the blood up my penis. I'm just like, nigga, you're weird. All right? Fuck out of here. Yeah, and if anything, your girl, for one, helps her cramps. Proven. Two, she feels it even more because, you know, apparently, you know, let me know if I'm wrong, but on the red week, you know, they're a little more in the mood. They're a little more in the mood. You know what I mean? It's a win-win-win-win. Yeah, you get some coochie, it relieves their cramps, and they're horny anyway, and you're horny too. So, yeah, like I said, it's a win-win-win-win. Like, come on now, hey, yeah. But I get it, you know, if you're like first dating a guy or whatever, you know what I mean? You know, you don't want to like, yeah. I get it, but a lot of times women have to understand, like, we know you have periods. Yeah, it just is what it is. We know what periods are. We know that you have them. We know they're not the funnest thing to deal with. So it's like, even if you are just like first dating a dude, you can be honest with him and be like, oh, I'm on my period, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, trust me. And if he's weirded out about it and he thinks it's gross and stuff like that, that's a childish guy, if I'm being straight with you. So, yeah. All right. So, what's something that girls think is embarrassing, but men don't care about? People seeing your house not being perfectly clean. Okay. I mean, look, I understand that. But I think majority of people have kind of grown up with the idea of like, if somebody is coming over, you clean the house. You know, like I think that's kind of an ingrained thing in everybody. It doesn't matter like if you black, white, Mexican, Japanese, Chinese, dirty knees. Look at these. You know, like it doesn't matter like what you are. I think that's just an ingrained thing. Like if you're gonna have company over, you clean the house or you clean your room, you know. So again, do guys care though? Not really. Like if I walk into a girl's room and it looks like a tornado hit the damn place, I'm not gonna really be all that weirded out or anything, because odds are you might think my room is dirty, you know, because my mom, she does, like, okay, my desk behind me, she thinks my desk is like, I don't want to say filthy, but I guess cluttered. And I'm like, no, everything has a place and it's in its place. And it to me, I look at it like it's pretty organized. I have everything where I need it. You know, it's all in arm's reach, and like, you know, certain shit does certain things. You know, but I understand how that could look to like somebody else. Somebody else sees it and they're just like, that's a lot of shit all over the place. You know, so I get it, but again, it's one of those things where it could be clean to you, but not to someone else. So I do understand that. But to his like topic or whatever, definitely, I think a lot of people, majority of people, they've grown up with the idea of if somebody's coming over, then you clean the house. But again, dudes don't really care. If I'm being straight with you, dudes don't really care. Yeah, you know. All right, what's something that girls think is embarrassing but guys don't really care? Sneezing. Several ladies I know are holding their sneezes in, and it always sounds painful to me. Let her rip. Yeah. Why? Why sneezing? I mean, most girls have kind of cute sneezes. They're like, choo, choo. You know what I mean? They have really cute sneezes. And I don't see what. All right, ladies, you got to let me know down in the comments. Sneezing? You don't sneeze in front of your man? Or if you're like first dating a guy or whatever, you won't sneeze? Why? It's not like it's a fart. Now, I would understand a fart. You know, I'd be like, okay, all right, you know, she let it rip, just burp. Like, was that you? You know what I mean? I understand that. But a sneeze? Sneezes are pretty normal, I would think. I'd hope so. I know for me, if I was on a date, I would sneeze. Like, yeah. And again, girls have cute sneezes. So it's like, that might work to your benefit. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Definitely. Are you girls not sneezing? I don't know. What's going on here? What's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't care? Let's see. Okay. Well, I just realized that people care a lot about a lot of things I never even thought to care about. I don't even know if this makes me oblivious or just easygoing. Okay. You didn't really add to the thread. I hate when people do that. When somebody just adds to the thread, like, oh, this thread is this and that. Like, no, get the fuck off the thread. What's something girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't really care? Re-wearing the same outfit. That's facts. Like, as a guy, I know that washing machines exist. And if it's an outfit that you look cute in, yeah, re-wear it. Why would he be like, oh, I saw you wearing that last week on Tuesday. Why are you wearing that again? You know, like, we're not going to do that. If anything, we're going to be like, oh, damn. Oh, she wearing that outfit again. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, you know? Come on now. Like, that's crazy to me. That girls would think wearing the same outfit a second time a guy would find that to be weird. Like, I wouldn't find that to be weird, especially, again, if it's an outfit that you look good in, then I'll definitely be like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you're wearing that again. That's what I like. You know, come on now. All right. What's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't care? Anything to do with their period and period-related products, it's completely normal, and there's no reason why society needs women to be super subtle about it or embarrassed if a tampon falls out of their purse. Guys may initially be embarrassed to go to the store and seek out feminine hygiene products for their partners. I am never embarrassed to go buy tampons or pads or whatever. I just don't know which ones to get. That's my problem. Okay? Because I'm on the phone and you're over here talking about Tampax Pearl Super Duper whatever. And I'm like, Super Duper? What? I mean, I see like Ultra Dry and Heavy Wide. Super Absorbent. Is it Super Absorbent? Is that the... No, it says Super Duper. Okay. All right. It says Super Duper Wide. That's my problem. All right. That. I'm never embarrassed to buy that stuff. I just don't know which one to get because apparently, y'all all have different periods and some girls have heavy flows and some girls don't and other girls bleed more than others and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But again, I don't know where the Tampax Super Duper Wide is at because I don't know. I don't know where that one's at. And then, sometimes they're just like, oh, what store are you? And I'm like, I'm at Target, and they're like, oh, well, you got to go to Walmart because the Walmart's got the Super Duper Tampax Pearl. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, shit. I just saw the Super Duper Absorbent. I didn't know. That's why I never buy that shit without calling. All right, I ain't gonna lie to you. I will call to make sure I get the right ones. Because I ain't trying to be that dude where, I bring it home and they're just like, oh, see, this is for the girls who have like just a little bit of the blood. I have a lot of bit of the blood, okay? So you gotta get the Super Duper Tampax Pearl, all that, And I'm just like, well, okay. I thought they were all created equal, but I guess not. You know what I mean? I guess not. And then don't even get me started on the tampons. Some twist out and it's like a flower thing, and some are just like it like pulls out and like I guess apparently you just put it in there and then you just pull it out and then it does the thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. Some are twist, some are pull. And some girls are like, oh, I like the twist. And I'm like, why? What? They don't do the same thing? And they're like, nah, I don't like the pull. And I'm like, okay, I guess so. But yeah. I don't know. I don't find it embarrassing though, if I'm being straight with you. Like I said before, period only stops, a sentence. It don't stop me though, But the whole like going to buy the feminine products, nah, you got to come with me. All right, what's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't care? Acne. I used to date someone who would cancel if she thought she had a pimple. That was too bad when, to be honest, I don't give a fuck. And I've never once thought about someone else's acne. Yeah, facts. I mean, look, I understand the women who do have really bad acne where it's kind of like acne patches and stuff like that, and you kind of got it a little bad. I do understand that 100% because that can be very embarrassing, and it does make you kind of feel like, oh, I'm not the prettiest or whatever. But if I'm being honest with you, the reason he writes this in is because a lot of times if the guy likes you, he kind of looks at it like, I like you, now if that comes with a little acne, whatever, it does. It is what it is. I've dated girls before, where they've had like, I guess you could say bad acne. I don't know. But it was a thing where I liked the girl. I kind of liked, just who she was and, the girl I got to know, whatever the case may be, personality, our banter, whatever it was. And I didn't really care too much for the acne, and a lot of guys, aren't really like face guys. And what I mean by that is not a lot of guys really look at the face, and that's kind of like what initially attracts them. A lot of times, it's the neck down, it's the whole boobs or butt thing. For me, obviously, I'm a tummy guy, and I'm a little midriff guy. I love a girl with a flat stomach. That shit is sexy as hell to me. But yeah, and that's what I mean though. That's why I'm like, even if you did have a clear face and you just got a pimple, just bam right there, a dude's not really gonna care too much for being straight. He's not. He's just not. So, I don't know. I get it. I get why you're embarrassed, though. I get it. But dudes don't really care too much. Yeah, I mean, he probably going to be staring at your booty the whole time anyway. Yeah, I mean, let's just be straight. Yeah, shit. Am I telling on myself? I think I'm telling on myself. All right, we're going to do 3 more. What's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't care? Being at a party and wearing the same outfit as someone else. Facts. Because we don't care. You know what I mean? Again, if you look cute in the outfit and another girl is wearing the same outfit, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And then on top of that, if you're the type of girl that can like, say a guy, is talking to you, whatever, and he's just like, did you notice that there's like another girl literally wearing like the same outfit as you? And if you can like joke about that and be like, oh my God, did you know that's like my twin sister or whatever? Like, if you could joke about that, I think the guy is going to find that honestly more attractive than you kind of being like, oh, there's another girl wearing the same, you know what I mean? Like, if you could joke about it, the guy's going to find that way more attractive, because we don't really care. We don't. I mean, we trying to see what's under the clothes anyway. Like, let's be straight. Like, I'm trying to be as honest as I can with you, trying to keep it hundo P around here, because it's the truth. It's the truth. We trying to see what's under it. We don't give a fuck if you wearing, if there's like 4 or 5 girls wearing the same outfit. It's like, girl, I'm trying to see what's under that outfit. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I'm just being straight. What's something that girls think is embarrassing, but guys don't really care? Having the physical effects of being extremely sexually aroused. If I'm being honest with you, yeah. My thing is it has to be a thing where you're only like that with the guy that you're dating, though. See, because there are some women that are very like sexually open and they are like, yeah, I just love sex, you know what I mean? So they just kind of do it with anybody. There are girls that are like that. But I think the ones that dudes don't care about are the ones where they're only like that with a man. Like they're hypersexual only with the guy that they're dating, not with just dudes in general, So, yeah. that I had to make sure I go ahead and differentiate it, because the ones who are kind of open sexually to just guys in general, you guys care about that. Are they going to smash? 100%. But if it's a thing where it's like the guy's trying to date her, he's going to care. He's going to be like, oh, no, I don't really like that. But again, if you're the type of girl where you're hypersexual to the guy that you're dating, then it's like that right there is a fucking W, because it's I'd love to, put my sausage through your donut all day long. That'd be amazing. Like, why not? It's fantastic. So, yeah. Yeah. That's all I'll say to that one. All right. What is something that girls think is embarrassing but guys don't care? Labia. Does my labia look weird? No, just let me examine it more though. Wait, what? Alright, look, man, if I'm being straight with you, a dude ain't gonna be sitting there looking at your coochie like, you know what? I'm good. That's not a pretty vagina. I'm good, man. I gotta be somewhere. No dude is gonna look at it like that, bruh. No, dude. And if a dude is sitting there talking about, I wouldn't have sex with a girl who's got meat curtains. I wouldn't have sex with a girl who's got puffy lips or whatever. Cap, bro.
Stop the cap.
He would still fuck. Like, let's be straight. He'd still fuck. Coochie is coochie, dog. You know what I mean? Because I know I ain't got no preference on that shit. I'm like, what you talking about? And on top of that, by the time, we get to, the sexy time anyway, I'm going to just be like, I already like you. You know what I mean? I already really like you, so it don't really matter. And so that's kind of how I look at that. It's like, yeah, dudes don't really care. Why? Because, vagina's vagina at the end of the day. Let's be straight. And I think girls kind of put a little too much emphasis on that. They're like, oh, mine doesn't look as pretty, or it doesn't look like the girls on the internet or whatever. And it's just like, trust me, you're good. You're all right. You're all right. Dude is still going to go through with it. Let's be straight. He's still going to go through with it. I mean, so, that's just how that is. That's how that is. But I'm going to go ahead and end that thread there, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the thread. I know I did. There are a lot of weird things that girls are embarrassed at that dudes just don't really care. And if I'm being straight with you, ladies, dudes don't really give a fuck about a lot of the shit y'all do. I won't lie to you. I mean, unless it's like crazy or it's like over the top or anything like that, most of the little shit we're all right with, because we understand. And if anything, we're kind of dealing with the same thing to the same capacity, whether it's with acne, whether it's with, eating, or it's your genitalia looks weird, because obviously there's like some dudes are circumcised and some dudes are uncircumcised. So they think about this, oh shit, is it going to be weird? And it's like, bro, at the end of the day, man, we're all human. It is what it is. And majority of the time, you're gonna deal with it, especially if you like the person. If you really like the person, it's gonna be down to how much you really like the person, and that's what it is. Especially with the whole period thing, there's guys like me who are just like, hey yo, period only stops a sentence, baby. We can lay a towel down and I'm gonna get up in them bloody walls. And there are guys that are just like, nah, I'm kind of good on that. That's gross. It is what it is. I find those guys to be kind of childish, for being honest with you, but hey, it is what it is. And then the whole, buying women's products. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Again, I'm calling. I'm on the phone and I'm reading them off like, yeah, no, I don't see light Super Duty. I don't see it. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Girls, don't worry. You're good. You're chilling. You're all right. Don't worry. You're good. You're good. And I get it. I think some women just overthink a lot of the times and don't realize they're overthinking. That's going to be the thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. we're going to go through announcements real quick, and we'll get right on into these 4 chapters of these episodes. So, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday shows. Definitely get on in there, man. Over 80 to 90 hours of content over there just waiting for you, all for $3 a month, man. It's amazing. Get on in there. Check it out. Audio listeners, keep downloading the podcast as well as rating us 5 stars. Appreciate all the support you guys have been showing. It lets me know that you guys are coming back every single week and enjoying the episodes. Love you guys so much for all of that. And that support is absolutely free. And if it's for free, then it's for me. If you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube, liking the video, all that good stuff, man. I love when you guys engage with the content. Love reading you guys' comments. All that's good stuff, man. I try to make these episodes as entertaining and as fun as possible for you guys, all right? But without further ado, I'ma shut up, and we're going to get right on into today's book. We have chapters 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I will move you guys over now, and we will enjoy the book.
Seven. Wendy. But you'll be home for dinner? I hate the way my voice sounds, infused with a pleading tone in hopes my father will actually come home. The faint sound of paper rustles in the background.
I won't make it there tonight, honey, but I'll try my best for the weekend.
I chew on my bottom lip, worrying the flesh. My father has always been a busy man, but he used to make time for me. Over the years, he slowly slipped further and further away, and now I don't know how to reach him. I'm not sure how to convince him that we need attention, too. You haven't even been to the new house, Dad. It's like, I don't know. He sighs.
What did you expect, Wendy? You know how things are.
I don't want John to have to keep raising himself. It's on the tip of my tongue to say it, but I swallow it down, hoping that if I bite my tongue, maybe he'll come home. What are you doing, anyway? He sighs again, and this time there's a distinct feminine voice in the background. My stomach tightens, my hand white-knuckling the phone. Are you even in Bloomsburg? He clears his throat.
Not at the moment, no.
I scoff, resentment billowing like a storm cloud in the center of my chest. Dad, you promised that when we moved you'd be around more.
I am. I will be.
My eyes burn. Then why are you still just everywhere else? There was once upon a time I thought my father hung the moon. I followed him everywhere and did everything with him, so much so he dubbed me his little shadow. But as I grew older, things changed. Slowly I was pushed to the back of the bus until I wasn't even in the same vehicle, left behind like unnecessary luggage. Sometimes I wonder if John has it easier, not ever having known what it was like. Our father has never given him the attention he's given me. Still, I would do almost anything to have my father's love the way I once had it, and I would do even more to guarantee that John could taste it for the first time. I don't think my father is a bad man. I just think his thirst for adventure overpowered his need for a family, until somewhere along the way, he forgot he had one at all. We just miss you is all. I swallow around the lump in my throat, rife with all the things I want to say. Thank you, by the way, for putting John in homeschool.
Yeah, about that. I've changed my mind. There's a great boarding school outside of Bloomsburg I'm sending him to.
My heart seizes in my chest. What?
I met with the dean the other day, and they assured me this would be the best place for him.
The breath whooshes from me, realizing he met with a stranger but can't make time for his own children. Boarding school? Dad, he'll hate that. You know how things are for him with other kids.
Well, these are different kids now.
Dad!
Wendy, he parrots. Listen, this isn't up for discussion.
My fingers squeeze tighter around my phone. Why? He hesitates and clears his throat again. His tell for when he's trying to avoid the subject. Biding his time, formulating his thoughts before he lets them escape as tangible words in the air.
The dean is a business associate. They've assured me this will be the best fit.
My mind replays the conversation with John from the other day, how his shoulders seemed to ease as he talked about getting to stay home. And just like that, a bit of rage seeps into the center of my chest, unfurling like smoke and curling around my edges. The entire reason I moved here was to stay with John, to try and bring our broken family back together. My father promised he'd be home more, that Bloomsburg was the perfect spot for him to settle and put down roots and stop living for everyone else. And now, he's going to ship off the only person I have. And I'll be here, working in a coffee shop and living in a mansion. Alone. And for what? I squeeze my eyes tight and blow out a breath. When are you going to tell him?
He doesn't leave for another week, so I'll be home to tell him then.
Dad, you cannot let me be the one to handle this. He needs to hear it from you. He needs you to explain the reasons why. My stomach cramps with the realization that I can speak until my throat is sore, but it doesn't change the fact that somewhere along the way, my father stopped listening to what I had to say. And with every day that he's gone, another business trip or another sight to see that doesn't include us, he slips further from our grasp, away to somewhere nobody can reach, even if we wanted to.
I hear you, sweetheart. I do. I'll do it when I come home. Sorry about dinner.
Click. Swallowing down the irritation, I glance at the fireplace mantel to the photo I placed there of the two of us, in hopes it would remind me of better days. In hopes that it would remind him, too. I'm sitting on his shoulders, a big smile splitting both our faces. I wonder when it was that the shift happened. Whether it was me who changed and started to outgrow my naive fairy tale view, or if it was he who regressed after our mom's death. Although truthfully, it happened before then. Maybe people never change, and it's only our perceptions that alter the view. My phone dings the second I place it down, and untapped hope spirals through my center, even though I know it isn't going to be my father again. And of course it isn't. It's Angie. Angie. The JR tonight, bitch. No saying no. I'll pick you up at 7. My stomach flips as I read her message, my mind immediately going to the handsome stranger who asked me on a date and then disappeared for days. Will he be there? Chewing on my bottom lip, I type out a reply. Me. Okay. Count me in.
8. James. Peter Michaels wants to meet. My heart clenches the second his name passes Rue's lips. I am aware of this already, Rufus. You've talked of nothing else for the past week. Rue's brow draws in. Don't be a smartass. It's... what do you say? Unbecoming. My lips tilt up at his attempt at an English accent, although, to be fair, even mine isn't as crisp as it once was. The years have muddled it down until it's an odd mix, not quite British, yet far from American. Do you have a point? I ask. My point is that I need you there with me. I breathe out a sigh, unbuttoning my suit jacket as I sit down opposite his desk. And why is it I couldn't go in the first place again? His eyes narrow. Because you intimidate people. My brows shoot to my hairline, and I point to myself. Me? He chuckles. Don't play dumb, kid. We both know you have this, His arm waves between us. Thing about you. Other powerful men don't like to be around that. I bite back my smirk. You're a powerful man, yet here we are. Rue grins, spinning a cigar between his lips. I know your loyalty. You work for me, he shrugs. I'm not worried about my place in this world, and I'm not worried about your role in it. While I appreciate the sentiment behind his words, they cause a cramp to spear the centre of my stomach regardless. Rue may think he knows my purpose in this life, but even he doesn't know the truth. He doesn't know that my father moved from America when he was just shy of 20, becoming the premier businessman in all of England, that I was born into the life of luxury, and until his death, there wasn't anyone on earth I looked up to more. Rue doesn't know that every second since has been spent focused on vengeance against the man responsible. A phantom twinge splits my side, and my knuckles tighten against the urge to brush the jagged scar that mars my torso. Some men are born into this world with purpose. Other men are mutilated into it. An unwelcome emotion threatens to slither its way into the moment, an odd ache attempting to settle heavy in my chest. I clench my jaw as I force it back down. The time for sorrow has long since passed. Now it's simply a thirst for revenge that keeps me going. Leaning forward in my chair, the fire of my life's goal licks me with its tempting warmth. So, when are we meeting? Rue smiles. Next week. Perfect. I have plans the next few nights. It would be a shame for them to fall through. Oh? I nod, not willing to elaborate, not wanting to give up my prize before I've caught her in my web. I want Wendy to come willingly, to be the bright accent on my arm while I show her off to the world, watch the look on her father's face as she brings me home for dinner. A grin sneaks along my lips. A pet project, if you will. He chuckles, running his hand down the front of his face. Fuck it, kid. If I had your looks, I'd be pussy deep every single day. I'm surprised you show the restraint you do in the first place. The muscle in my jaw ticks, and I swallow back the disgust at the vision his words create, as if I'd ever give up control for sexual pleasure. Having the urge is one thing, losing yourself to temptation is quite another. And while, yes, I may use Moira to keep my darker urges at bay, I never need it. Years of being at the hands of someone who frequently lost their wits have taught me that control is paramount. And while fucking and coming is stress relief, that's all it will ever be. It's never for actual enjoyment. You'll be around tonight, though? Rue asks, his eyes skimming the top of his desk, a vulnerability seeping into the words, so slight you can barely hear it. Nodding, I stand and make my way to the front of his office. Of course, Rufus. I reach into my jacket pocket and grab the box I've brought with me today. Rue isn't much for presents, but he loves lighters. Has an entire case filled with his collection. This one is special. A custom-made St. DuPont encrusted with red rubies and an inscription on the front. Straight on till morning. It's the first piece of advice he gave me, and one that's stuck ever since. My thumb swipes across the words, my mind flashing back to that night. Breathing heavily from exertion, I peer around the building, the brick crumbling under my fingers. Evidence of how malnourished the area is as a whole. We aren't in a good part of town, and my mind races, wondering who the man I followed here is, what he must do for a living to be so comfortable in an area that even my uncle has told me to steer clear of. Stay away from the town square with the clock tower. The man's red hair bobs when he moves from the front stoop of the building, the faded green fabric of the awning swaying overhead. He says something, and the guys he's with nod before they walk inside, leaving him alone. The stranger twists, the movement sudden, causing my heart to skip. I suck in a breath, whipping around the corner, the brick rough against my back, even through the fabric of my shirt. Taking a few deep breaths, I peer around the edge again, but this time he's standing right in front of me, hands in his pockets, grey eyes sparking with amusement. "Are you following me, kid?" His accent is thick, his R's sounding like elongated A's, and my eyes widen as I look up at him and nod. I've never been much of a liar. Maybe I should be afraid, but I'm not. The biggest monster of them all is one who sits at the same table for dinner. Fear has long since marinated in the bottom of my gut like a bubbling cauldron, waiting for me to master the brew so I can use it as poison. So while maybe it's nonsensical, this man doesn't scare me. He inspires hope. An enemy of my enemy is a friend. "Well, you've got my attention," he continues. His eyes scan me, lips curling up in the corners. "You Crocs, kid?" My brows scrunch at the name. "I don't know who that is," I reply. "Croc!" His hand rubs down his face, his head tilting to the sky. "Ah, shit. You are... I saw you watching us from the hallway earlier tonight. What the hell are you doing all the way out here?" My stomach tightens, shame coursing through my insides at the realization that I wasn't as stealthy as I had hoped. He knew I was there all along. Nausea teases my throat when I think of my uncle also being aware. I run a hand through my hair. It doesn't matter, it's stupid. I turn to walk away, but a rough grip on my shoulder jostles my frame until I spin back around. "Don't walk away when someone asks you a question, kid. You've already come this far. Keep going, yeah?" My forehead scrunches as I take in his words. "Going until when?" He points to the clock tower that sits in the middle of the town square, the moon and stars shimmering in the background. "Straight on till morning." My head tilts. What's that mean? His arm wraps around my shoulders, bringing me in close. "That means you don't quit until you get what you want, even if it takes all damn night. Understand?" I smile at the memory, tossing the present on the desk. "Rufus," I tisk. "Come now. You really think I wouldn't remember?" Rue grunts, waving me off, but I see the weight slipping from his shoulders and the lift of his lips. As if I'd ever forget the birthday of the man who saved me. Jason is a 2-bit drug dealer that goes by the nickname Nibs. He's the type that doesn't wash his undershirts and thinks a gold chain makes him tough, but he's always done a decent job at pushing our Pixie. Lately, however, he's acquired loose lips, trying to spark an uprising with the other nobody lowlifes who run along my streets, and think that means it's theirs. Jason shifts in the booth across from me while I spark up a cigar. The low lighting of the bar casts a shadow across his face, highlighting the beads of sweat forming along his hairline. I'm not entirely sure he knows who I am. Low-level pushers don't normally get the privilege of meeting me. "Jason, do you know why you're here?" I ask. "Because I work for you." I twirl the cigar between my lips before placing it down on the ashtray, the table sturdy underneath my elbows. "That's correct, Jason. You work for me." His face tightens. "Have you forgotten?" My head tilts. "No," he mumbles. I lean forward. "No, sir." He glances to the twins on either side of him, his Adam's apple bobbing with his harsh swallow. "Don't look at them," I say. "The time for you to deal with the twins has long since passed. In fact," my fingers scratch my chin, "it was you who decided to turn them away in the first place. So now you get to deal with me. Understand?" He clears his throat. Yes, sir." "Atta boy," I smirk, relaxing back into the booth. I've just realized you don't have a drink. You must be thirsty. Would you like one? I nod to Moira, who saunters over, hands on her hips. Jason's eyes bounce between me, the twins, Moira, and then back. He opens his mouth to speak, but movement from the front of the bar distracts me from whatever he says. Like a beacon of light splitting apart the darkened clouds, Wendy Michaels waltzes into the room, straight into the viper's den, like she's waiting to get bit. Like she belongs. Sparks tingle the base of my stomach, my gaze soaking her up like water in the sun. She reaches the bar, followed closely by her friends. Immediately she's greeted by our bartender, Curly, saying something that makes her head toss back in laughter, her hair glinting off the lights as it swishes down her naked back. My shoulders tighten at the restraint it takes to keep from walking over and pulling her away from his attentions. Tearing my eyes away, I focus again on Jason. I was planning to draw this out, but suddenly I'm desperate to wrap things up. My insides twist with anticipation, and I have to force it down, trying to keep my mind on the task at hand. Jason, you seem like a man of many talents. His chest puffs out, preening like a peacock. I've brought you here today because there seems to be a traitor in our midst, and I need your help. My lips twitch as he nods in agreement, relief visibly coasting across his face. Such a simple, stupid creature. It's come to my attention that somebody has been working against us from the inside. Jason leans in like he's expecting me to continue, but I don't. I sit back in the booth, picking up my cigar, ignoring the way the smoke suffocates as it swirls around my face. And I wait. The seconds stretch into agonizing moments. The only sound, the backdrop of patrons in the bar, and my inner voice nagging at me to turn my attention back to the pretty girl at the front. But I don't. I keep my focus on Jason, waiting for him to break. He fidgets the longer I stare until finally his shoulders tighten. No, you don't think I lift a hand, cutting him off mid-sentence. It's very interesting to me what happens when you allow the space for people to speak, I chuckle. You see, silence is often the best way to draw out the rats. Leaning in, I lower my voice. There are two ways we can do this, Jason. You can hold a modicum of self-dignity and allow the twins to take you to your new accommodations without causing a scene, I grin. Or you can do this the hard way. Reaching into my pocket, I grip the leather handle of my knife, gently placing it on the table next to me. I assure you picking the latter won't end in your favor. Jason's head shakes back and forth, his chest heaving with his staccato breath. Listen, you don't understand. He made me. He would have killed me, man. I didn't have a choice. My head tilts, filing away his slip of the tongue for later. I'm not surprised he isn't the one behind the whispers. Rue and I both have many enemies, and someone of Jason's stature is more likely to be a bitch boy than a mastermind. My stomach tightens, wondering if he'll be forthcoming with the name, or if I'll have to drag it from his throat by force. I nod, sliding from the booth and running my hand down the front of my suit as I move to his side of the table. I bend down next to his ear. There's always a choice. And then I walk away, my eyes already locked on the girl at the front of the bar.
9. Wendy. Oh, fuck. He's coming over, Maria whispers, practically vibrating on the bar stool next to me. She zoned in on him the first moment we walked in the bar, nudging me in the ribs until they ached, letting me know her man was in the house. He's just like she described, surrounded by suits, sitting in the back booth under lighting so dim you can barely make out his shadow. But I can feel him. Being raised around a man similar in stature has fine-tuned my ability to know what it feels like when someone bleeds power. And as much as I don't want to admit it, I understand the appeal. I smile and wink at Maria, twisting in my seat to see, but her nails dig into my arm, clamping down like a vice. "Don't look," she whispers. "What are you thinking? This is my moment. We can't act too eager." Angie snorts into her drink. "As if he hasn't seen you staring over there every 2 seconds. How do you even know he's coming for you? He's probably just going to the bar." Maria's eyebrow quirks. "When have you ever seen him do that?" Angie shrugs, and I take a sip from my wine, the dry red liquid making me cringe as it hits my lips. "I bet he is," I say. "You and him had a connection or whatever, right? He's probably just been busy until now." "You think?" she asks. I nod, desperate to get on her good side even though she's been nothing but a bitch since the second we met. Seizing the moment, I giggle as I fist pump the air. Her ruby red lips split into a smile, her gaze widening the slightest bit as they slide past me.
Fancy seeing you here, darling.
My breath whooshes out of me, dread snaking its way through my insides because I would know that voice anywhere. And from the way Maria is staring, I have a sneaking suspicion that her man is also my stranger. I ignore him, hoping that maybe if I don't react, he'll just go away. But lately it feels as though nothing I wish for comes true, so of course he doesn't. Maria draws her shoulders back, pushing out her chest, and whether I like it or not, my stomach twists. Because even though I don't want his attention, I'm not sure I want her to have it either. I choke down another sip of wine. Heat prickles along my back, making my hair stand on end. I peer from the corner of my eye and see Maria's face change, her lips drooping ever so slightly. Glancing the other way, I notice Angie's gaze flickering between the man at my back and me.
Ignoring me in my own bar.
His breath coasts across my ear, and I close my eyes, fighting back a shiver.
That's not very nice of you.
I look one more time toward Maria, trying to convey an apology through my expression, before exhaling a heavy breath and giving my attention to the man who wants it. "I didn't know it was your bar." Spinning around, I expect him to back up, but he doesn't, and my knees brush against his thighs as he crowds my space. My chest squeezes as my eyes meet his icy blue gaze.
There are a lot of things you don't know about me.
His head tilts.
Let's change that.
My mind replays all of our encounters. Was it you that let us in the first time? The right side of his mouth lifts. And the secret admirer sending drinks. He watches me, his hands slipping effortlessly into his pockets, so similar to the first time we met.
Would you like me to say yes?
I'd like you to tell the truth.
Where's the fun in that?
Wendy? Maria's voice cuts across the air, snapping me out of the moment. Are you going to introduce us to your friend? I wouldn't call him my friend, I grimace. Maria, Angie, this is James. James, this is Maria. I wave my hand toward her, ignoring the slight churning of my stomach. And Angie.
Hello, ladies.
He greets, his eyes never leaving mine.
Pleasure.
Oh, believe me, the pleasure is all mine. Maria pipes in. I resist the urge to cringe at her tacky line, but wait for him to shift his focus, to realize there's a woman here who's ripe and ready for the picking. I've always assumed men like easy targets, and while I won't lie to myself and say I haven't enjoyed his attention, I am most definitely not a sure thing. Still, his eyes stay locked on mine. And I don't drop his stare either, feeling somehow like if I do, then I'll have lost something I didn't even know to keep. The air grows thick, and my tongue swipes out to lick my dry lips. His eyes darken as they drop to my mouth. Angie clears her throat. "So," she says, "you own this place?" His gaze lingers before he finally breaks away and turns to Angie. My chest expands as I take my first full breath in what feels like a century, and I glance over at Maria, but she's avoiding my stare, her lips pursed and back rigid. Great.
"Something like that," he responds. "I hope you're finding everything satisfactory."
Angie's cheeks grow rosy and she grins. "Drinks could use some work."
"Oh."
He steps in closer, the heat of his body racing up my side and blanketing me in its warmth, his arm resting on the back of my chair. A simple nod from him, and the bartender rushes over, the white towel on his shoulder contrasting against his dark brown skin.
"Sir." "It would seem as if the ladies aren't satisfied with their drinks, Curly."
I watch as Curly's broad shoulders stiffen, and for some reason, a prickling sense of urgency comes over me. Like it's important he knows the drinks are fine, that Angie was just making a joke. Most likely to ease the tension that's still radiating off of an eerily silent Maria. "The drinks are incredible," I reassure. "They're perfect, James. Angie was just teasing." His gaze moves from the bartender to me.
"You're sure?"
I nod, and he turns back to Curly.
"These ladies are the most important people here, understand? Their money is no good, and you give them anything they ask for."
Curly nods. "You got it, boss." "In that case, I'll take another." Angie giggles. "You guys want?" James is already locked back on me, his stare so intense it splits me in half and burrows in my chest. "You don't have to do that," I say. He smiles.
"I don't have to do anything."
His hand moves up and brushes a strand of hair from my cheek. The gesture is soft, gentle, and butterflies erupt in my stomach.
"I want to make sure you're taken care of, darling."
Heat flares deep in my abdomen, and I resist the urge to rub my thighs together, not wanting to show how much he affects me. How this virtual stranger can say something like that, and instead of being repulsed or disgusted, I'm turned on. His palm slips into mine, my stomach somersaulting at his touch, and he raises it to his mouth, lips grazing the back of my hand.
"Go on a date with me."
Goosebumps sprout along my arm. Vaguely, I hear a gasp to my left, but I can't focus on that because everything about this man sucks me in like a vortex. An alternate dimension where everything is muted apart from him. Excitement swirls in the pit of my stomach. "Okay." He grins, and my breath stutters at how disarming he is when he smiles. Before he can say anything else, a young man, the same one who let us in the bar the other week, rushes up behind him, whispering in his ear. And just like that, James's entire demeanor shifts, the sparkle dropping from his face. He nods before turning back.
"Unfortunately, I have to handle some business."
He brings our tangled palms up, pressing them into his chest.
"You won't leave without saying goodbye?"
I shake my head no, unable to form the words on my tongue, and he brings his other hand forward, his thumb swiping across my cheek.
"Good."
He glances toward Angie and Maria, tipping his head.
"Ladies."
And then he walks away, leaving me to gaze after him, my heart in my throat. Weighted stares burning holes through me from both sides. 10. Wendy. Dipping my mouth to my glass, I force the bitter liquid down my throat. I don't even like red wine, but I wanted to fit in, be sophisticated, instead of admitting I didn't really want a drink at all. My chest pulls tight, not sure why I bothered when everything has gone to shit anyway, since he walked over. James. Apparently the same guy who Maria's been obsessed with, which means he's also Hook. Reality smashes into me like a sledgehammer, throwing everything I thought I knew to bits. He's the one they spent hours waxing poetic about, the man they'd let split them apart with his monster cock. I snort into my drink, a giggle bubbling from the center of my chest, unsure if it's the wine that's gone to my head or the remnants of how dazed James makes me feel. He's elusive, dangerous. A thrill sparks in the base of my stomach. I shouldn't be excited by the possibility, should be on edge with how he has no qualms letting underage girls into his bar, how he always has men surrounding him, seeming to be at his beck and call. I should be wary at how quickly he spins me off balance until I become so wrapped in his presence I can barely breathe. But I'm not. And maybe it's because in the deepest parts of me, I already knew he was different. The hint of danger stretches out like tentacles and suctions to my skin like a dark caress. It's exciting, even if I know it shouldn't be, even if I know my father wouldn't approve. But my father stopped listening to me a long time ago, so maybe it's time I return the favor.
What was that?
Angie asks. I shrug, trying to stem the blush that's rushing through my bloodstream and heating my cheeks. I hadn't meant to give in. Had definitely not meant to agree to a freaking date, especially not in front of Maria, who's been consoling herself for months with the knowledge that he's untouchable. But he isn't. He'd let me touch him. Nerves erupt in my stomach, and as much as I try to ignore it, I like the way it feels to be the one who's getting his attention. Like I'm special. Maria downs her drink, placing it gingerly on the counter before she turns her eyes on me, her stare stinging as it rips through my skin. Look, I start. I didn't know he was the guy you were talking about. She scoffs. I'm really sorry, Maria. He's been persistent. I cringe, knowing I'm only making a bad situation worse. It's fine. I'm fine. She pauses. I'm just surprised, is all. I can't imagine him being into someone like you. My nose crinkles, her judgment drizzling on my body like rain. There's never been a moment in her presence where she hasn't found some way to cut me down, and I'm sick of it.
Maria, don't!
Angie starts. What's that supposed to mean? I cut in. She shrugs. It just doesn't make sense. He's a powerful man, one who could have any woman he wanted, and he's stuck on you? My body instinctively curls in on itself. Ouch, I whisper. She smiles, reaching over and patting my forearm. No offense, of course. Her words hit their mark, bruising my insides and cutting me open just enough to let my anger bleed. It whips through me like a windstorm, but I push it back down with a few deep breaths. It doesn't matter what she thinks.
I won't lie, girl. He was pretty intense.
Angie pipes in.
How do you even know him? You've been holding out.
My fingers play with a napkin, shredding the fragile paper to pieces. I didn't know who he was. I look at Maria. I swear, I literally ran into him last time we were here, and then he showed up to the coffee shop. Angie's eyes widen.
He did? I've never seen him there before.
Shrugging, I look down at the bar top, nausea churning my stomach from how badly I want to change the conversation. It's no big deal. Maria waves her arm. There's a million fish in the sea and all that. Besides, maybe he'll come around more. You don't mind if I snatch him up once he's done with you, right? She smirks. She's probably right, and I'm just a passing thrill. something unattainable that he's eager to catch. But the vision that forms in my mind of them together makes my gut twist, green whooshing through my chest. The feeling stays there for the rest of the night, long after I've switched to sparkling water and watched as the girls get wasted. It's there as we walk out the front door and flag down a cab, my insides sinking in disappointment because James never made another appearance. One of my legs is halfway into the cab when a voice calls from behind us. "Miss!" I spin around, my heart soaring. "Yo," he points at me. "I was told to make sure you didn't leave." When I turn back around, I come face to face with Maria and Angie, their eyes wide as they look up at me from inside the car. It's irritating that I waited all night like he asked me to, and it's only now he's bothered to stop me. Well, not even him. He begged me for a date and then just as easily pawned me off to his employees. My jaw locks into place, and I move to slide into the car with the girls, but the icy, drunken daggers of Maria's gaze makes me falter, and I find myself replaying all of the words she said through the night, the thinly veiled insults striking harder with every lash. The whisper of anger that's been brewing in my gut finally boils over, and if I have to choose between being irritated with James or verbally assaulted by Maria, the choice is pretty simple. I lean into the car. "Go on without me, ladies. Thanks for a fun night." Maria's eyes narrow to slits. Angie laughs. "You sure, girl?" I nod and spin back around, walking toward the nameless man and waving my arm toward the entrance. "Well, take me to your master." His grin drops into a sneer, but he doesn't say a word. His hand pushes on my lower back to propel me toward the front door.
All right. Whoo! And that is chapters 7, 8, 9, and 10. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I know your boy did. I'm super excited for this book. It is getting interesting, getting a little juicy. Oh, man. And it's nice to see that their relationship is starting to kind of develop a little more. Hopefully we'll get even more on that. But hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Again, I'll see you tomorrow if you're on Patreon. And if you're not, I'll see you on Tuesday. Love you all and peace.